Jessie here from Tonkadale, and today I'm going to show you how to transplant a Fiddle Leaf Fig or any other floor plant that's in a larger size container. Summertime is a great time to repot plants. They're actively growing, and if you can get them outside, they will really love you because outdoor light is so much different than indoor light. The quality and quantity of light is insane, and your plants will get nice and juicy over the summer, so they have good energy and momentum going into those fall and winter months indoors. Let's get started. In general, you can tell it's time to repot a plant if it starts to become root bound. So here I see roots are kind of starting to circle the pot, grow up and out of the pot. It may not be holding water like it used to when you water. It may run right out of the pot because there's just no water holding capacity because that soil has been depleted and it's time to refresh. So when you repot, you generally want to go 1 to 2 pot sizes bigger than the grower container that it's in. Now, I'm going to go from a 10-inch pot to a generously sized 12-inch pot. I like to keep larger plants in a plastic insert or a grower container, a nursery pot, so that there's flexibility in moving it around the house. So if you want to bring it outside, you can lift it up, bring it outside. If you need to move it to a sunnier location indoors, or it's time to put it in a larger pot, you simply repot in a new insert instead of all the drama of lifting heavy pottery around the house. I have 2 types of potting soil. Here today I have our house blend Tonkadale. Tonkadale is a very rich potting soil, and because of that it does hold on to water a little bit longer than other potting soils. So you do want to get used to using the Tonkadale if you are using it on indoor plants. I think it's a great all-purpose blend, especially if you have your watering heat in. Because it does hold more moisture, I'm going to mix in some of this lighter potting soil as well, just to lift it up a little bit and make sure that my Fiddle Leaf Fig is drying out in between waterings in case I happen to overwater. The Coco Loco potting soil, and the bag's upside down because it was ripped from the bottom, and that's okay. In the Coco Loco, peat moss is replaced with core fiber. So for some, this is a more sustainable potting soil option. It is a really great potting soil, all-purpose potting soil for all kinds of indoor plants. So I'm just going to get started and mix up some of my soil right in the pot. You can mix it separately in a bucket if that works for you, but I'll just go 1-to-1 with my ratio. And I like to kind of eyeball it, see how it looks, see how it feels. I'm kind of liking the lightness here. So there is more moisture in this soil here than this one starting out. So that is a difference, but I can tell by the grit and the fineness of this potting soil, it's a little bit lighter. So let's get this baby out of the grower pot. Sometimes the roots can kind of grow into the sides and they can get stuck, so don't be afraid to rough them up. Now is a great time to check on the roots and see that they look nice and healthy. I can see a really nice bright white root tip, so that's new root growth. You want to see bright shiny roots, and that means everything is a-okay. So now we can go around and loosen up that root ball so it's ready to let go and expand when we get it in the pot. I'm going to come up here. You could do some root pruning and take care of some of these roots that are coming out the top, but I am not too worried about it, just kind of what FLFs do. But I might untangle them a little bit. I should have brought a pruner, but I can yank on them as well. It's interesting too to see where plants are sourced from. You can see, what kind of ingredients were available in the location they were grown. So here we see a lot of cocoa shells, which is interesting, which is different than a lot of the potting soils we'll see up north have bark. I can lower it in, and I want the top of the root ball to be about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch below the top rim of the pot. So I do have a bit too much of my mix in here. I'll take it out and set it aside. And another advantage to repotting in the summer is you can do it outside and you can make this huge mess and it doesn't matter. I'm just using this cardboard to kind of contain my mess and also to save my knees against the ground. let's go in here again. There, that looks good. So now I want to add back soil all the way around, and we'll give it a nice tamp down as we turn. Peek, looks like I need to mix some more. So I'm going to do a couple generous scoops of tonka terra and 2 generous scoops of the Coco Loco, and then we'll mix. And all the way around again. It's a great idea to leave a bit of a lip between this top of the soil, the top of the root ball, and the top of the pot, so that when you water, there is a place for the water to stand before it soaks into the soil. Otherwise, we'll have what's called a soil volcano, where the soil just pours over the edge of the pot when you water, and that is no fun. The last thing I'm going to do is just kind of really inspect this plant for any pests or insects, things that I need to take care of. Now is a great time to just kind of preventatively treat all over. We're outside, it's summer, we can do this. So I'm going to treat it really well with neem oil, fronts and back sides of the leaf until runoff. Just suffocate any juveniles that might be here, larvae. I don't see any adult insects, which is great. I'm going to let this dry in the shade so that it doesn't burn, where those oil droplets pick up and magnify the sun. Once it's dry, I'm going to come back and shine up the leaves. So I just have like a microfiber rag or microfiber gloves, and I can come back in and give it some loving. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is a Ficus lorata, but it's the smaller leaf version, sometimes called Everglades. So it just has a smaller leaf, but it gets just as big as a regular Fiddle Leaf Fig. Great, so I guess the last thing we need to do is water it in. I'm just checking to see when the water drains out the bottom, feeling the weight of the pot as I've added water. I'm gonna give it one more shot. Well, I can tell it's well watered. It's nice and heavy. There you have it, repotting a Fiddle Leaf Fig or other large houseplants. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at Tonkadale.